If you are heading to Oogie Boogie Bash this year, first of all, amazing. But listen, I want you to make the most of your time and not waste half the night standing in line for candy or realize later that you missed the best villain meet and greet. So you're going to need a game plan, and I've got you covered with real helpful tips, not just the obvious stuff. Plus, I'm going to share my personal party night schedule at the end of the video to help you maximize every single minute. And I also put together this free Oogie Boogie Bash printable bucket list to help you check things off as you go along. It has treat trails and photo ops and shows and all kinds of great things. I'm going to put a link in the description. But let's make sure that you have the best night ever and leave with sore feet, a full treat bag, but no regrets. First of all, before you go, you have to buy your Oogie Boogie Bash tickets early because this event sells out every year. And I'm assuming since you're watching this video, you already have your tickets, so way to go. Your ticket includes early entry at 3 p.m., trick-or-treat trails, villain sightings, Frightfully Fun Parade, Villains Grove, photo pass rides, and more. We're going to talk about all of that. But first thing I want to talk about is costumes. So make sure you follow the Disney guidelines. Nothing too scary, no full face masks for adults, and no dragging fabrics that could be a tripping hazard. You would hate to get sent away if your costume doesn't meet Disney requirements. There are a few things that you need to bring with you to the Oogie Boogie Bash. First thing you need to bring is a large trick-or-treat bag or a pillowcase. Disney provides a small one, but it's so tiny and it fills up quickly that it's basically worthless. So bring your own for sure. You're also going to want to bring a portable phone charger, probably a water bottle because I hate to tell you this, but it is probably going to be hot for your Oogie Boogie Bash night. But you also want to be prepared in case it's cooler. So bring layers or something like that in case the evening gets cold. Let's talk about your arrival strategy because you can get into the park beginning at 3 p.m. usually, but I have often gotten in at 2:45 or even earlier. What I want you to do is arrive well before 3 p.m. because security lines and parking, it takes time, it's busy, it's a popular thing. So make sure you get there early in case it is busy on the day that you arrive. Now, a lot of people are going to arrive right at 3 p.m., which is when lines are going to be the longest. So I always get there around 2:15, 2:30, so I'm closer to the front of the line. And then they usually end up opening up the line early and letting people in so you can get in usually around 2:45 or so. I like to enter through the Grand Californian. I've done this for the past 3 or 4 years, and it's worked really, really well because not a lot of people think about entering through there. And so there's not a lot of people lined up. In the past, I've been able to just walk right through at about 2:30, 2:45. And they scan my Oogie Boogie Bash ticket and they give me a wristband and they give me my trick-or-treat bag and I am on my way and I don't have to deal with all the madness that is happening at the entrance to California Adventure Park. So you could definitely try that. I've had a person or two say that they were turned away, that they said they couldn't enter through that location, but I don't know. I do it every year and it works really well. So you could give it a try. Once you enter, you're going to pick up your event wristband and your party map. Make sure they don't put your wristband on too tight. I had that happen once and it was driving me crazy. So I had to go and have them cut it off and give me a new wristband because I couldn't take it. But you'll get your wristband and your map and use that map because it has tons of helpful information. Okay, once you're in, then I want you to take advantage of the early access to DCA starting at 3 p.m. If you have any rides that are like must-dos, then check those off. Get those done out of the way so that you can focus on party things once the party actually starts. I also want you to eat dinner, mobile order, whatever you're going to do before 6 p.m., before the party actually begins, because you don't want to waste time eating dinner at 6:30 or 7 when you could be going to treat trails, things like that, seeing villains, photo ops, that kind of stuff. Don't waste your time eating. Once the party begins, do it well before. Also, there will be limited time merch that can sell out. So if you have your eye on something, then shop early, right when the party starts, grab your merch so that you can not have to worry about it running out later in the evening. Okay, let's talk about some treat trail tips. We already talked about bringing your own candy bag, so you don't have to worry about that. You're not going to run out of space. Villains sometimes take breaks, so don't panic if you show up and one of the villains isn't there. They'll be back later. Don't worry, you can either wait for a few minutes or you can go do something else and come back. You will get to see that villain though. It's just sometimes they need a break. We all need a break. Some treat trails don't have villains, but they still give candy and they give a lot of candy. And this is one of my favorite things because there's no line on these treat trails without villains. So you can walk right in, get some candy, go and do it a couple times. Go do it 2, 3, 4 times, whatever you want. Disney doesn't care how many times you do the treat trails. So go and do it a few times. There's no line. You might as well, but don't skip these treat trails with no villain because you're going to get lots of candy. And who doesn't want candy, especially when there is no line involved? When it comes to treat trails, I would prefer that you didn't bounce around because that really is kind of a waste of time. If you're hopping from one end of the park all the way to the other end of the park, it just isn't a good use of your time. So pick a treat trail. I would prefer that you pick one that is not as popular right now. Don't pick one of the new villains to do first because those lines are going to be the longest. Save the new villains for the end of the night, but pick a treat trail that has an older villain or one that doesn't have a villain at all and start there and then just kind of make your way through the park, hitting each treat trail as you go along. We need to talk about Villains Grove. It opens at sunset, but I have been there right at sunset and I didn't think it was as good because sunset is not complete darkness and a lot of the effects on Villains Grove Trail involve the need for darkness. They have lighting effects and smoke and all these kinds of things that are really cool in the dark. But if it's not quite dark, then it's probably not as good. So don't go right at sunset. A lot of people are going to go early and they're going to line up. For the life of me, I'm not sure why they think lining up and waiting 30 minutes is a good use of their time when they can just barely wait at all later in the evening. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't get it. But a lot of people will, and they'll be there right at sunset, and they're not going to have a great experience because it's not going to be all the way dark. So make sure you go when it's completely dark. Now, depending on the time of year that you go, it'll depend on what time it opens because sunset kind of changes and gets earlier as the year gets later. So I just checked on the weather app and it said right now sunset is happening in Anaheim at about 7:45 p.m. So when the party first starts, Oogie Boogie first kicks off at the end of August, then it's going to open up about 7:45, but don't go at 7:45. Let's have you do other things and go when it's actually dark and when that first wave of people has died down. Now you'll have to check your weather app and see what time sunset is as you get closer to whatever day your party is, so then you can see what time Villains Grove will actually open. Also, don't wait until the end of the night because I have heard reports of it closing a little bit early, and I would hate for you to wait till 11 p.m. and then go to Villains Grove and have it be closed because that would be so sad because this really is a must-do atmospheric walkthrough. It's so fun. It's not scary, but it is visually stunning and so much fun. So you really can't miss it. We're going to talk in a minute about when I think you should go in my schedule coming up. We'll talk about that in a minute. Next, we need to talk about the parade, the Frightfully Fun parade. It is my favorite Disney parade, and you can only see it during Oogie Boogie Bash time. Before the parade starts, then the Headless Horseman rides the parade route, and it's amazing. On his horse, he's carrying his head under his arm. It's so good. One of my very favorite things. And one of the other things I love about this parade is there is no need to camp out for hours because the parade route is so long and there's not as many people at Oogie Boogie Bash as there are on any given Disney day, then there's really no need to get there an hour or two early. So I like to plan for 20 to 30 minutes. That is usually plenty of time. The Headless Horseman does start walking the parade route before the parade begins, usually about 10 minutes before. So you want to be there in your place before that happens so you don't miss the Headless Horseman. Now there are 2 showings for the parade. Either choice is great. I do have an opinion, so I'm going to talk about it later when we get to our schedule. Now, there are characters separate from the villains on the treat trails that you will see. There's rare characters like Minnie dressed as a Sanderson sister, or you might see the Kingdom Hearts characters. Those are going to be so fun to see. Lines can be long, but if you visit during one of the parades or after 9 p.m., then the lines start to shorten dramatically. But I would definitely prioritize your top 2 characters and hit those ones first. And then if you are able to see other ones as the night goes on, then that'll just be a bonus. We do need to talk about food and treats. Many restaurants will close down around 6 p.m. or shortly thereafter, which is another reason that I really want you to eat dinner before you go. There will be some special food offerings just for Oogie Boogie Bash, and those are fun. I never waste my time with them though because I usually want to do other things. But there are things to eat. You're not going to go hungry, but I think it's just better if you've already eaten and don't have to worry about it. Now, for those of you that have food allergies, you can ask for an allergy option at treat trails if you need to. They always have something for everyone. Rides are open during the party, and wait times for these rides are so much shorter than they are on regular days. But there is not time to do all the rides and do all of the Oogie Boogie Bash stuff. There's just not. Believe me, I have tried, and there's just not enough time. So you kind of have to prioritize your most important things. That's why I like the idea of hitting some rides during the mix-in period before the party actually begins, hitting your top rides then so that you can focus on Oogie Boogie Bash things. Or maybe you just want short lines and you're like, we don't care about the Oogie Boogie Bash stuff. We're just going to go after the shorter lines. That's totally a strategy and it works. Now, don't stress about the wait times on the Disneyland app because they are often not really kept up on during the party. Cast members aren't so worried about that. So sometimes it'll show longer wait times than they actually are. I wouldn't worry about the wait times too much because once the party is in full swing, then the wait times are significantly lower. Another thing I want to tell you is make sure you really look at your map that they give you when you check in for the event. It's full of helpful information. It'll talk about show times. It'll tell you where all the treat trails are, and it's really helpful. So don't throw this away. Take it with you and use it. You'll be thankful that you did. Also, PhotoPass is included with your Oogie Boogie Bash ticket, so take advantage of this. I like to do pictures before the party even begins because if I'm wearing a costume, I want to get pictures when it's still light and before I'm all sweaty or before I've got like chocolate all over myself. So get your PhotoPass pictures early and take advantage of PhotoPass that is included with your ticket because that is an awesome perk. Again, don't forget to grab my free Oogie Boogie Bash bucket list printable to help you keep track of everything as you're going along. You can like circle the things that are most important to you and then you can cross it out as you go along. Your kids are going to love it. Let's talk about my suggested Oogie Boogie Bash schedule. So now that I've told you all the tips and just like dumped all this information on you, then let me walk you through a flexible party night schedule. This is what I do, and this is what I recommend to help you hit all the best stuff without getting overwhelmed. Now, of course, this is just what I do. It's totally flexible to you. If you were like, no, we want to focus on rides, awesome, focus on rides. You do you, but this is what I like to do so that I can maximize my time at Oogie Boogie Bash. First thing first, I like to arrive around 2:15 or 2:30, go through security, pick up my wristband, get my party map, take some photos in my costume before it gets dark and crowded, and just kind of get in the vibe of the party. Then I like to knock out a couple of rides that I'm really excited about that I want to do, mobile order and eat dinner all before 6 p.m. And then right at 6 p.m., once the party starts, if there is any merch that I want, then I will grab that right then before things get crazy and they're gone. Okay, so once the party starts at 6 p.m., then I want you to pick a treat trail that is not crowded. I like to do the ones on Buena Vista Street and head over there and start doing treat trails. Do not head to the new exciting villains. Don't go to Syndrome first. Don't do that. I did that once. I went to a new character and I ended up waiting for an hour just for a treat trail. And then I went back later in the night and all the excitement had died down and I only had to wait about 10 minutes. So do not go to the newest one first. Skip Syndrome. We're going to save him for later. So start somewhere, wherever you happen to be when the party starts. That's a great place to start. I like to be over in Carsland or over on Buena Vista Street. So start doing your treat trails. And if there's any villains that you really want to see, then you can prioritize seeing them. Start going and getting in line to get your picture taken with them. Now, the first parade starts at 7:45 p.m. The second parade starts at 10 p.m. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. If you are going to Oogie Boogie Bash at the very beginning of the year and it's not going to be fully dark, then I don't want you to go to Villains Grove during the first parade. I would prefer that you keep doing treat trails, keep seeing any villains that you want to see. And then as the parade is winding down, like maybe around, I don't know, it's not a very long parade. So maybe around 8:15 or so, then head over and go do Villains Grove. But if you are going later in the year when Villains Grove will be fully dark by 7:45 when the first parade starts, then I would head over to Villains Grove and do Villains Grove during the first parade. And we already talked about you don't have to get there super early to check out the parade, so that's really good. After you've done Villains Grove, I want you to keep going with the characters, keep going with your treat trails, hit any rides that you might want to hit. And if you haven't seen the parade, then go see that 10 o'clock parade. It's going to be a little less crowded. Then as soon as that parade is over, a lot of people are going to leave. They will have had enough. They'll be tired. They're ready to go home. So hit any treat trails that you haven't done yet. Hit any that you want to do a second time. After the second parade is a great time to go hit those really popular villains or the really popular new villains on treat trails like Syndrome. That would be a really great time to do that. Or if you wanted to go revisit Villains Grove or any attractions that you haven't already done, then after that second parade is a really great time to do that. So that last little bit, you're just going to hit all of your final things and anything that you might have missed. I will often do, I don't even know why I'm telling you this, but I will often hit treat trails, especially ones with no villains, like 3 or 4 or 5 times in a row at the end of the night, because you're just walking through and they're just handing you tons of candy, and then I don't have to buy Halloween candy to pass out in my neighborhood. That's what I do. There's another little tip for you. I hope this helps you have the best night ever at Oogie Boogie Bash because it goes fast, so you don't want to waste a second. If you have questions, drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to help. And if you want to stay organized, don't forget to grab my free printable bucket list. It'll help you keep track of everything. I'm going to put a link down in the show notes so that you can just print it out. I'll also put my Halloween foodie guide down below if you want to check that out as well. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out on more Disney tips and tricks and a whole lot of magic. I hope you have the very best time at the Oogie Boogie Bash.